So let's discuss negotiating. You've received the offer, looks pretty good, but there's some things you'd like to change. Now, I'm talking about past big red flags. So if, like I said, if you were offered a large, or you thought that the role was a large amount, you told the recruiter, you told whoever set up the interview what your salary requirements are. And again, you can give your salary requirements. They are no longer allowed to ask you in most places what you made before. You can just tell them what your salary requirements are now. And if you went in telling them your salary requirements and they offer you well under that, then that's more of a red flag of something you need to just address. That's not a negotiation. That's a where did we miss the mark here, because someone's wasting someone's time if this is a low ball offer, and then that's a big red flag. If they're just trying to see how low they can pay you, what you have to think about is that the kind of company I want to work for. But when it comes to negotiating, if it's just a bit about money, my opinion on negotiating about money is that you should really negotiate in $5,000 or pound increments. So if you work somewhere, and if you are watching this and you're in another country, I'm really sorry, I can't give an opinion more than on dollars and pounds, because I've worked in countries that have dollars and pounds. But I think if someone's offered you 30 and you wanted 40 or you wanted 35, I think if you're haggling over thousands, that actually doesn't make that much difference to your paycheck day to day. Now, there are different ways. If for some reason monetarily is a way that they cannot compensate you, then maybe you look at your hours so that you get paid more per hour than you normally would. So if it isn't an hourly job, will they include your lunch hour? Can you leave early on a Monday? Can you work around the time that you need to say you need to pick up your kids? Can you come in later? Can you make it so that you actually work a shorter amount of time so that they're paying you hourly what you're looking for, instead of looking at the whole salary? Can you get a bonus structure with KPIs that say, listen, I know you're skeptical now, but I'm telling you, I will prove myself. And if we set KPIs with a bonus of $5,000 that I get every 6 months, I promise you, if you're comfortable with that and you feel that I've proven my worth, then you're really, I'm going to show you that I can do these things, and you're going to feel comfortable paying me that in 6 months. Then you can discuss a bonus structure. You might decide that you want, maybe it's borderline on the salary, and you want to negotiate how many vacation or holidays that you get. This is the time to do that. Now, when it comes to negotiating, again, I feel you need to be as confident as possible. And one of the best ways to do this is to research. And one of the reasons why I want you to go on as many interviews as possible, because you will get more of a sense of your worth. If you see that you are getting accepted for interviews for roles that are much higher, then you feel, salary-wise, then you feel more comfortable negotiating higher. I kind of feel like it's one of those things, like time. It's one of those concepts where you expand to the size of the box you're put in. If you have never made 60 grand, if you have never made 100 grand, you've only made up to 50, you think that's the only capacity for this particular role, then you will try and expand to that. You will try and get that. However, then you are also not only expanding to that, but you are limited to that. And so if you look at another role, and that role seems very similar in a better part of town, and it's paying 75, then all of a sudden you're more confident to say, well, I know I can get this job at another place, or I'm interviewing currently for the same role and it's 75. And so you're a little bit more confident to negotiate the way you want. I really do believe that people should be negotiating in $5,000 to $10,000, 10,000 pound increments, because it needs to be significant to your paycheck. If they're really nickeling and diming you, then maybe looking into alternative ways, especially if there's a recruiter involved. Sometimes companies get really weird because the recruiter will charge a percentage on the salary, so they don't want to raise the salary, which is kind of neither here nor there, not for me to discuss at this time. However, that's why a bonus structure coming in can be more attractive to them, because then they're not paying a percentage on your bonus structure later on. They're just paying a percentage of your base salary to a recruiter. So there could be reasons why they're saying these things. But if they want you and you want them, and you can have an earnest conversation with them, then I think that's the best mindset to go in, to be able to negotiate effectively and to have all the tools in your arsenal to be able to know what your worth is, know if you have other offers or possible opportunities lined up, and know the type of company that you're really working for. If there's red flags, you're going to see it, and you're going to decide, do I want to deal with these red flags later and see if they turn into something, which in my experience they almost always do, or do you maybe take the risk and move on. So that's my advice when it comes to negotiating. You really know you best, and I feel that there's only so much advice I can give you on the subject other than to come as equipped as possible with as much research as you possibly can, by researching other roles, interviewing, researching, and therefore getting research on determining what your worth is and taking that to the table.